is doing what the Attorney General of Arizona did and what the Attorney General of Texas needs to do, which is recognize an invasion of the state of Texas that is undermining our security.
All right, that's Texas Congressman Chip Roy. Several other city leaders in Texas say the southern border is under siege. They're asking Texas Governor Gregg Abbott to declare an invasion of the Lone Star State. If you're wondering what that means, we did as well, so we looked it up. Under the Constitution of both the United States and Texas, declaring an invasion would give thousands of state troopers and National Guard members in Texas that are already on the border, Operation Lone Star that we've been telling you about. It gives them sweeping new authority to turn back migrants, essentially bestowing enforcement powers that have been, up until this point, a federal responsibility. Local law enforcement could then detain and deport migrants without the feds' help. They say it's needed now more than ever because of the massive amounts of drugs that are pouring into the country. For example, in Arizona, you just heard about, police found about 90 pounds of drugs, including fentanyl, heroin, meth, and cocaine just in the past couple of days. Independent journalist Ali Bradley covers immigration, joins us now. If Gregg Abbott does not declare an invasion, is all this a moot point?
I mean, basically, Leland, that question was actually asked to the sheriffs and the county judges that were here at the convention center just moments ago in Kinney County. They were asking him, if Governor Abbott doesn't do this, doesn't declare this as an invasion, what will that mean? Well, every single law enforcement individual that was up on the stage representing several different counties in this area said they will continue to uphold the law and uphold the Constitution in their county. We've seen them, obviously, we saw Sheriff Coe in Kinney County bring 4 people back to the port of entry. We're seeing them take matters into their own hands as it is, but they do want the governor to declare this as an invasion.
What do you make of the fact that Ken Paxton, the Texas Attorney General, who, shall we say, has never shied away from a fight, a controversy, or doing what he thinks is right, won't touch this?
I mean, I don't really have a lot of opinion on that, Leland, when it comes to what Ken Paxton is or isn't going to do, if I'm being honest. I mean, at this juncture, you have all of these counties. You have 5 that were present today that signed on to this declaration, extending this disaster declaration from last year. But I heard from several other judges and county lawmakers in other areas like Uvalde and Val Verde that are saying they are going to likely sign on to this. Uvalde will sign their paperwork tomorrow. So I do know that there are more counties that are going to be involved. So that is going to put more pressure on Governor Abbott and Attorney General Paxton.
Yeah, no question. You can only not support your local officials for so long, especially when they're the ones who are close of it. Texas Enforcement versus Encounters this year, an estimated 75,000 troopers, guard soldiers, and then obviously sheriff's deputies would have deportation powers if the entire state declared this an invasion. The federal government says they've encountered about 1 million migrants across the entire border since January 1. So you do the math. This totally changes the ball game. If they don't get the invasion declaration by Governor Abbott, can they still do what the sheriff in Kinney County did and others, which is basically drive people back to the point of entry and say, walk?
Yeah, I mean, that question was asked as well. I'm glad that you brought that point up. Someone said, well, are you going to continue to do that? Are other sheriffs going to follow suit? Because as of right now, Kinney County Sheriff Brad Coe is the only one that has done that. Several sheriffs did come up to the podium. They said, yeah, they will do that. And they used the quote, he hasn't been arrested yet for doing that. So if the opportunity presents itself and they have no other option, they said they'll do the same thing.
What are you hearing from Border Patrol? And you're better sourced in this than just about anybody else. Do they agree with this language that because Border Patrol is handcuffed, it essentially has become an invasion?
Yeah, I mean, they do. They do believe that. I mean, I told you, I think it was probably 9 months ago we first started talking, Leland, that they feel like they're the middlemen in the biggest human smuggling operation in the world. So these men and women that are on the front lines, they are maxed out. We know that they're fully taxed. Their biggest concern here is really the gotaways. I mean, Representative Chip Roy was here today, and he was talking about 850,000 gotaways have been recorded across the southern border. And so they want people to be able, they want the resources, really. That's why they're trying to declare this an invasion. They need more manpower. We asked them, what do you want? what is the purpose of this? And they said they need resources to be able to actually do their job, because we've been talking about it, Leland. They just haven't been able to do their job. And if they're not able to do their job, that means holes all over the border. That means unmanned areas of the border. That means more gotaways, people that are unvetted. We don't know who they are. You know, you want to give people the benefit of the doubt, but when you look at percentages and you look at the amount of people that are arrested for, you know, a myriad of crimes that self-surrender, you have to assume there's at least one that it doesn't have the best.
It's very clear that the people who can self-surrender and then get a free pass aren't going to pay the smugglers and take the risks to run. If somebody's running, there's a reason. If they got away, then that tells you all you need to know.
I mean, here's the thing, Leland. We don't know what the Mexico side is saying to them. We don't know if they can't pay the cartel, if they're being forced into these situations.
Good point.
You know, so
good point.
We don't know if the coyotes are saying this is your only option. And so you do have to give some people, you don't know their stories. Because we don't talk to them.
Fair point, Allie. We got to run. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.